Hello everybody, and just here and welcome back to Gundam, which from Mercury, episode 10. It's the new year, and what better way to start it than with some good old Gundam, right? And yeah, let's do just that, shall we? In the previous episode, what happened in the previous episode, in episode 9? Well, I guess it can be summed up as Shadik's failures. Pretty much the entire episode was just a string of things that Shadik wanted to do, but went about them the completely wrong way and kept failing at absolutely everything. So that was interesting for sure, but on a more I don't know, more an in episode level, more detailed level. What happened was, of course, the duel that he had against Suletta and the rest of the Gundam Incorporated, and not even using anti-Gund format, whatever it might be, helped him. That's just how special Ariel is. Although the win did not belong to Ariel, the win belonged to Chuchu, and I love it. I honestly do love it that it's not the main protagonist, it's not the main hero who got the win at least once. It's very common in media that the hero is beaten down and on the verge of death, and the teammates arrive, right? Exactly as in this case, and the teammates distract the enemy or hurt the enemy, but it's still the main character who gets the final shot, who gets the final stab, who finishes the battle, who wins the duel. Not in this case, not in this case, and I love it, and I love it. So we had the duel. We also had a little bit of duel. He also appeared, and he seems to be very much torn on whether he wants to follow what his father says and become a file pusher, paper pusher, or maybe he wants to go against his father and continue learning how to be a Gundam pilot and continuing to duel and continuing to stay at this school, assuming, of course, his father is not gonna cause him any issues. I have a feeling that he might be joining Gundam Incorporated sooner or later. Perhaps not in this episode, perhaps not in the next one, but sooner or later he will join us for sure. Anything else? Apparently, tomatoes and Miorin's little greenhouse are super significant and super symbolic. Someone noticed that in the comments to the previous episode, that the way the tomatoes were stacked represented the positions of Suletta and Shadik and Chuchu. The way people are coming to the whatchamacallit, greenhouse is also significant, right? Guel just let himself in. Shadik wasn't let in. Suletta was let in. The greenhouse represents Miorin's heart. I would never, in a million years, have seen this symbolism, and that's why I'm glad I have you guys and I have your comments because I genuinely would not see that. And now that I've read the comment and I watched those moments, yeah, yeah, I can absolutely see that. The symbolism of that green tomato, right? Unripe and had to be taken out, right? Didn't even have the time to ripen. And also discarding one of the fruit lets other fruit be bigger. Anybody who grows any fruits or vegetables knows about picking like every other fruit of the tree or even every other flower so that the remaining ones have more nutrients to grow. So I'm assuming similar thing. There's a lot of that I would never in my life have expected. And I'm gonna have to look a little bit deeper into what I'm seeing, I guess. Every time I wanna say that, oh, maybe I'm overthinking things, I'm gonna have to think twice, because maybe I'm not overthinking them after all. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see what's gonna happen in today's episode. Because I genuinely have no clue. I have no idea what's gonna happen. The previous episode was very self-contained. We don't really have any, like, not even a cliffhanger, but we don't even have any loose thread that we can continue from episode 9. Besides maybe Ariel being destroyed and Prospera crying tears of happiness that Ariel was able to withstand the anti-gun format, but those seem like more Prospera crying and Ariel being able to withstand anti-gun is something that seems like a much bigger, uh, you know, something that has much bigger implications, a much bigger arc, perhaps even bleeding well into the next core whenever that comes, and not something that will be resolved in today's episode. Ariel being destroyed and them needing to find some funds and materials and stuff to rebuild it. Probably, I guess that's what this episode could be about. It could be about Shadik, maybe, I'm not sure. Could be about Guel, I've absolutely no clue. Could be about another person from their little club of sitting on sofas, or whatever they're called. Yeah, it could honestly go either way. Could be about Ilan, right? Ilan also made an appearance in the previous episode, and we haven't really interacted with him particularly much, besides during the little bowl thing. I don't know. I don't know. I have no expectations for today's episode, honestly. We're just gonna have to see it, right? There's no other way to go about it. So here's your subs, and I'm gonna have to zero out the timer. Your subs, you're gonna need them to follow along. My sound, I'm gonna need it to hear what's going on. And your support, I'm gonna have to ask you for your support, monetary Patreon throne, links in the description below. Or if you don't want to spend any money, share my content, spread the word, costs you nothing, helps the channel. And with the shilling out of the way, we can start watching episode 10 of Gundam Witch from Mercury in 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, that was to be expected. It doesn't hurt the pilot. Because Delling's issue was with Gund hurting pilots, not with technology itself. What you gonna celebrate? Okay, I guess that does call for a celebration. Although, allow me to express my doubts that any assassination on Delling actually will be successful. You tried once already, although I guess it was called off, not so much as um, taken care of by Delling or any of his bodyguards. They just called it off because Miorin got engaged with Suletta. I might be tripping, but it kinda seems like more and more characters are smiling in the opening. I'm probably tripping. I'm probably just gaslighting myself. But I swear I didn't see Chuchu and Miorin smile this much. Yeah, I'm probably just tripping. I'm trying to look into things where there aren't any to look into. Oh, hello, Shadik. They went for repairs, I'm assuming. Okay, in 2 months absence. I guess that's how much it takes to fix Ariel. Interesting, a time skip. That's how much she trusts you. She's being all soon about it, but there's a layer of data underneath. Yeah, not only did Miorin willingly let her into the greenhouse, she also lets her take care of it. Okay, they already have some prototypes to test. Ah, yes, the moment I realized the weakness of flesh, it disgusted me. I longed for the certainty of steel. Okay, so it's a fucked up Boston Dynamics prototype. That's a cool shot. Seeing the perspective of those things pass through. That's just Boston Dynamics course. They have this exact same thing at Boston Dynamics. Okay. Yeah, that's just Boston Dynamics course, except done in reverse. Yeah, and besides that, notice no data storms, no feedback to the user. So the question is, are they actually using like Ariel's technology here, or what's going on? Oh boy. Of course she didn't. uh, uh, it's nice seeing laughing Choo Choo. Ah, her checklist. Matching, okay, matching accessories. Well, give one to Miorin then. Probably not. Although, considering the proportion of Sun and Dere, she just might. She won't be happy about it, like, don't get me wrong. She'll huff and puff, but she will use it. Okay, reporting to Delling. Taking one-on-one lessons from her father? It's almost as if they had an actual parent-child relationship right now. Oh, I know her. I know you. Yeah. I mean, she is in an appropriate course at the school, from what I heard at least. Another player on the stage. Not gonna happen either, I'm afraid. Okay, what you gonna do, Sadiq? Oh, yeah. So you don't have to be afraid of losing. Yeah, I'd like to see that. I would like to see that, Sadiq. Sure. Yeah, she has free access. Whomst. I mean, sucks to suck. That's skill issue on Guel's part. What can I say? He's camping in the forest. Oh, he's working. Interesting. So did he take on his father's offer and is now a and is now just vacuuming spaceships? Left the school and is just a random worker? What is this? Is this Earth? Why are we on Earth suddenly? Ruined, dilapidated, abandoned Earth. School ruins? And who are you people? Who are you people? Some shady shit is going on. Seeing how Shadik is involved. Hmm. Okay, what's going on? I mean, I know. What's she doing there? Excuse me, what the fuck? We should seize the means of production. Whomst? Oh, it's her. I thought I heard Prospera. I mean, a part of Pale is your subsidiary, so an exchange of workforce does make some sense. Water temperature check, I'm assuming at the greenhouse. Can't you, like, check it remotely? Ilan? Hello, you shady fuck. I guess he also wants in on the business. Or he wants on in Suletta. Yeah, you could say that. Miorin, where are you when you're needed the most? Now I wonder, are we just trying to stir shit up? You are trying to stir shit up. Of course you are trying to stir shit up. Okay. No, I don't think so. I honestly don't think so. Well, tough shit, you're not gonna get it. Oh, so it's not even like a proper Elan, it's another clone. Well, clone. Another face-offed character. Okay, the fuck's going on? Oh, Miorine is replacing me. Maybe what Ilan said is true. Is that it? Something like that? Yes! That's what they're doing, isn't it? Oh, I see what you're doing here. I see what you're doing. Okay, so the previous episode was all about Shadik fucking up. This episode is all about Miorin fucking up. She wants to do good by Suletta, not putting so much pressure and so many things onto her, but it has the exact opposite effect. Suletta wants to be involved. She wants to help. Uh, Plant Keta is gonna be attacked by the assassins, isn't it? Is Suletta gonna save the day? She's gonna save Delling? Probably. Okay, that's it. That's the episode. Interesting. This was certainly an episode of setups, wasn't it? They set up so many things that will see payoff sooner or later. The previous episode felt kinda sorta like an end of an arc. This episode feels like the beginning of another. But I can't exactly like name those arcs because they flow smoothly and fluidly between each other. Interesting. That's some interesting storytelling, I gotta say. Usually, when there are arcs that have a beginning and an end, a distinct beginning and an end, you can kind of name them. In this case, not really. I can't really think of one thing that would describe the previous arc. And despite that, episode 9 felt like an arc closer. Oh, after credits scene. Was he going by Bob nowadays? Rejected his family name or something? Hmm. Okay, what do they look like? Oh, it's her. The girl from the girls from the ruined school on Earth. Okay. I mean, I can agree with the sentiment. Don't get me wrong. Breaking up the Benerit Group will probably be beneficial to like humanity as a whole. I don't exactly agree with the methods though. The witches from Earth. Okay, so the girls from Earth. Oh, that's an interesting art. Very different. Everybody's dressed as their Gundam or mobile suit, rather. Uh, okay, that was a very interesting episode for sure. For sure. Uh, full screen. Okay, I missed the button. Right, it was a very interesting episode, so let's watch it again, shall we? Yes, we shall. And what was that accent of episode? Okay, before we started though, I gotta check one thing real quick. I gotta check one thing. Whatchamacallit? Gundam, which from Mercury. The new characters. I gotta see the voice actors, of course. Window capture. Yeah, that works. New characters. Let's take a quick look at them. Are they gonna be listed? Am I gonna even recognize them? Is Irisha one of them? No, I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think they are listed. No, wait. Uh, Nika changed voice actress? Interesting. From Yume Miyamoto to Haruka Shiraishi. Okay. Could you maybe open Mal? Maybe Mal is gonna have um, VAs listed that AL doesn't have. Mal. Um, Gundam Witch from Mercury on Mal. Characters and staff. Mm, sure, okay, whatever. Okay, Hijanaji, voiced by Kusunoki Titan. And the other people... Pulone Sofie, Izawa Shiori, and Dunok Nora, voiced by Aoi Yuki. Hey, I did not recognize her voice, but that should not surprise anybody, because Aoi Yuki can voice absolutely anybody. Her vocal range is such. Okay, Kusunoki Titan. Who did he voice? Someone in Vinland Saga. Bullbuster, Tekken, Kingdom, Tokyo 24 Suidogori. Okay, someone in 86. I'm yet to watch this series. Kingdom, Beastars, Kengan Ashura, Psychopass, Bem, Enen no Shobtai, Promare, Kimetsu no Yaiba, Mob Psycho, Drifters, Golden Kamui, Radiant Overlord, some rando in Overlord, Gegege no Kitaro, Drifter, Skekai Sensen. Okay, plenty of roles. Gold Eater, Plastic Memories, Arslan Senki, Ore Twin Tails, Tiger Bunny, Lupin, Kingdom, and so on and so forth. That's a lot. Shiori Izawa, who here voiced Sophie Pulone, also voiced someone in SAO, voiced Pochita in Chainsaw Man, someone in Renai Flops, Marishimashita Iruma-kun, Nanachi in Pop Tepi Peak second. Why am I surprised, honestly? Why am I surprised there's Nanachi in Pop Tepi Peak? Nanachi in Made in Abyss. Someone in SAO again. Marishimashita Iruma-kun, Eden Zero. Girls und Panzer. Sono Midoriko, Goto Moyoko, Konparu Nozomi. Plenty of roles. Log Horizon, Huadiao. Made in Abyss, yeah, Nanachi. Already seen that. Micha in Symphogear XV. Okay. Yeah, I knew I recognized this voice. Of course it's gonna be Mika. Yeah, I can place the voice now. I can place the voice. Seiren. Okay, she also voiced Tanpopo-chan in Witchcraft Works. And yeah, more Tanpopo, more Girls und Panzer. And that's about it. And of course, Aoi Yuki. Who doesn't know Aoi Yuki? Yojo Senki Tanya Degrechov, Madoka in Madoka. Plenty other roles, of course. Pascal, whoever that thing is in Nier Automata, that's gonna be coming out, I think, this season. Tsuyu in Boku no Hero Academia. Lucy in Edgerunners. I had no clue she voiced Lucy. Tanya, of course. Gracefield in... Right, yeah, she did voice Gracefield in Sahada no Paladin, didn't she? Of course, she also voiced Hibiki in Symphogear, Kumoko in Kumodeska Nanika, and plenty of other roles. Someone in Enen no Shobtai, Precon. Yeah, you can see Hibiki right here. And yeah, Tatsumaki in One Punch Man. Who doesn't know Aoi Yuki? Okay, so those are the new characters that have appeared in this episode, and now we can go through this episode again. Finally. Yeah, I will now deliver Cathedra's response. We're not gonna do shit about it. Why did he acknowledge the corporation? Why did he let it duel? Well, why isn't Dominicus doing its job and hunting down the witches? Well, because banning Gundam technology was about the harm they pose to the pilot. Aerial and the technology that Gundam Incorporated creates causes no harm to the pilot. Therefore, it's not necessary to ban it. It really seems this simple to me. And I really think it is this simple. I really don't think there's anything more to it. I really don't think. It's just... Telling went against harm done to pilots. He was legit. He didn't lie. He didn't use it as a pretext. He was genuinely concerned about that. In this case, it's not a concern. So, it's perfectly fine by his book. Might as well just rename this technology, right? Don't call it Gund format, call it Gund E format, Gund enhanced or whatever, or permet technology, because every fucking thing in this world is permet something, right? Just change the name, might as well, because it allows you to do the same thing, but doesn't cause harm. So, it's all about the name, really. Uh, and he seems dead set on just banning Gundam at, entirely. I don't know why, I don't know what stakes he has in it, but he must have some. Cathedral, and he also has some stakes in it. And they want to off Delling, because of course they do. They wanted to off him initially, uh, Guel lost his engagement to Miorin, and it was no longer a concern. Ray of Hope, Gand Arm, half-ripened tomatoes. I don't know what symbolism there is, but probably there is some. Miorin and Ariel will be back soon. Okay, so they went out for like 2 months? Or rather, it's been 2 months since the duel. Yeah, challenges have piled up during its 2 month absence. So, yeah, Ariel was out of commission for 2 months. Makes sense. Thanks for making a special arrangement to postpone them. See, here I thought that Shadik had some sort of a change of heart, and he's a good guy now. Like, he saw the error of his ways, and he now just wants to be legit about what he's doing. But apparently not. Apparently he's still full of shady shit. Yeah, I told you I'm relying on you. I can't look after them while I'm away. Are you sure they're super important to you? Are you sure you want me to take care of them? Yes, I'm sure I want you to take care of them. I trust you this much. And Suletta is overjoyed. You are one of a kind. Indeed, she is the one and only person who Miorin would allow into her greenhouse, and who Miorin would allow to take care of her tomatoes. The one and only person who Miorin would allow inside of her heart, right? If we take the parallel between Miorin's of Miorin's greenhouse being an allegory to her heart, right? Gun prosthetic legs. And it seems you don't need any like super special kind of a connection, no electrodes or anything. The helmet is probably just for protection. Interesting. They work perfectly. It seems very much like Boston Dynamics, kind of a crash course. It's interesting to see that. I like some of the camera shots in those scenes. This shot from Suletta's perspective, and especially the later. This, how the bars move. The bars are made with CG. Yeah, that's how they got it to work so smoothly. They are CG with some 2D touch up, I think. Yeah, I think those are CG models, but the shading was done in post manually. Because you can see the aliasing on the edges that's so common in very like thin CG elements when they're rendered out without any particular care put into anti-aliasing or downsampling. But the shadows move at a different rate. I don't know how to best explain it. But they don't move the way they would have moved if it was lighted in like Blender or something. You can see at the top, like the shadow doesn't get to the very top. It's artistically done, not real life shadows with ray tracing and shit, but rather hand drawn. I like this effect. And the legs are drawn, I think. Yeah, because every couple of frames they go ever so slightly off model. Not like, what should I call it? Fuck. Not like Steven Universe kind of off model, but you see that the hole in the hip joint, sometimes it's more round, sometimes it's less round. It kind of wiggles around. That's how you can tell it's not CG. With an acceptable range. This is just Boston Dynamics scores. And I love how they're so extra that they just put holograms on them. I mean, to be perfectly honest with you, if holograms were super cheap to the point where you can just make a crash course of holograms, you bet your ass people would be putting them everywhere. Like, I'd probably have a hologram in front of my camera. I'd have a hologram on my coffee mug that has tea in it right now. I'd have a hologram on my mic. I'd have a hologram on my window. I'd have holograms, I don't fucking know, on my fucking door or something. You bet holograms would be everywhere. So I guess it makes sense that holograms are indeed everywhere. Last course, jumping. And of course, it's been cleared perfectly. You're qualified for review. And yeah, if the use of gun is authorized, it can be applied to any kind of prosthetics. Indeed, legs are just a proof of concept. If legs work, then arms will also work. Simple as. All that's left is advertising. We need to make another video. Suletta Forgetta. That's an amazing joke. And she gets to check something off her list. Yeah, matching keychains. I wonder if it's gonna be a moment of, uh, I don't know, Miorin seeing that Suletta bought matching keychains, and maybe she telling Miorin that, hey, Suletta bought those so that you can have matching accessories, and Miorin having a moment of clarity that, oh, I actually fucked up and I need to fix things. That's usually how it goes, isn't it? Right? That's usually how it goes. A freshly made couple, or not even a couple, are having a spat over something, and then one of them goes back home, or I don't know, whatever, and they see that the other person left them a gift. And oh no, I messed up. I was angry at him that he was absent, but he really was having a second job to buy this gift for me. You know the trope. You know it full well. If you've ever seen any sort of a romance anime or any sort of a rom-com anime, you know the trope full well. I like this. I like this moment of Delling and Miorin. Delling is very much still a hard ass, very much has a stick up his ass, but he's actually spending time advising Miorin one on one. That's also significant here. It's not like this big room of all the subsidiaries of the Delling Group sitting there and Delling on his throne and asking, "Oh, did you consider the risk of stock value dropping at the time of conversion? You fool!" Right? It's not publicly shaming and publicly talking about those things. No, this is a one-on-one father-daughter moment. It's probably as best as we're gonna get from Delling when it comes to like father-daughter moments, and I like it. I really do like it. He's not breaking the character, he's not suddenly this doting father, but you can see that he's treating Miorin differently than other heads of other subsidiaries. I don't think the head of Pale Technologies has one-on-one audiences with him just like that, where Delling tells them what to do and advises them and gives them tips and stuff like that. I think it's just Miorin. Yeah, reconsider diluting your shareholder ratio. You've done well calculating the cost effectiveness of your investment thus far. Yeah, she got praised by her father. How rare is that? I really do like this moment. And look, she's smiling ever so slightly. She's smiling. I see that line being ever so slightly bent upwards. Brand new ship. Well, not brand new, refurbished. Navigation staff. Of course, those two are just perfect timing. And they are from Space Assembly League. Whatever that is. I don't think we've ever heard this name so far. I guess they're like an extra corporational or maybe governmental, assuming there still is some sort of a government organization that has to oversee things. I'm not sure. And they're still investigating, you don't need to fear. Why is this guy just telling Shadik openly that, hey, we're gonna off Delling? And with all those people around him, do they really have this much trust? Maybe. When the president is gone, their stock plus Miorins will give them majority ownership. Shinsei doesn't have enough for a majority. In other words, duels won't determine the next president. I guess that's good because anybody winning against Suletta is fairly unlikely. So now Shadik is getting into some more shady shit. If I can't win a duel and capture their company, I'm gonna do some other shady shit to get my goals realized. If you fail, you'll lose your position within Grassley. I'll win this time for sure. I'd like to see that. And yeah, we can use the committee lounge. If not for her, Mr. Gewell would still be the holder. If Gewell didn't suck, he'd still be the holder. I mean, to be fair, he's a good pilot, right? He's just not as good as Suletta. So saying if he didn't suck, he would be a holder is unfair. He didn't suck. Suletta was simply better. But yeah, that's just how it is. You lose, you lose. Tough shit. Don't hold a grudge against Suletta because she was better. And Guel is just vacuuming ships in space. That's an interesting job. Plant Ketta, some kind of a big Benerit Group factory. Yeah, of course, he knows what Benerit Group is. It's got nothing to do with me. For how long, though? Because I have a feeling it's gonna have something to do with you very, very quickly, very, very soon. Interesting to see big swaths of Earth just ruined and just nothing there. Uh, all this time, I was under the impression that the issue with Earth and why Earthians are living in bad conditions and why people try to escape to space and why Spatians can develop and earn so much money and stuff like that is because Earth has become essentially one big Kulong city where it faces overpopulation and pollution, and it's just blocks of cities upon blocks of cities upon blocks of cities with no greenery, with no clean water, with no clean air. Right? I was under this impression that it's very dystopian. This doesn't look like a dystopia, this looks like a post apocalypse, but not a dystopia. So much open land, and there isn't a shopping mall there, and there isn't some high rises standing there. right? This building was just allowed to get dilapidated. It wasn't leveled, and there isn't a corporation HQ standing in its place with walled slums all around it. Interesting. Earth seems to look completely different from what I would assume it would look. And people seem to live here in some sort of a commune thing with tents outside. Some people probably live on the inside of this building, some live in tents. There's some gardens, people doing gardening. And yet, nobody bothered to clean it up. It's just left to rot. Nobody even swiped those shards of glass. Nobody bothered to move those tables. But there are fields, so it is a permanent residence to them because they have fields there. And they fixed some things like duct taped light, but at the same time, they didn't fix everything. They didn't bother to, as I said, just sweep the broken shards of glass. Asticassia mobile suit. That doesn't sound like Aoyuki. Which paradoxically makes me believe it's Aoyuki all the more. Call from Asticassia. And they are apparently hired assassins, hired mercenaries. We want you to kill Delling. What's her involvement? Your father figure says hello. Makes me think. Makes me think Nika was also raised in place like this. Perhaps in here with those very people, but somehow, for some reason, was moved to Asticassia as a spy, as an agent, as a double agent, maybe. I don't know. Similar hair color, maybe they're sisters, probably not. But interesting to see her involved. She was doing some. She was called a go-between in the previous episode or the episode before that. I can't quite recall. Shadiq called her a go-between, and I dismissed it because a go-between. So you're a go-between between me and between Miorin or the Gand Company or whatever. But maybe there's something more to her. What though? Like, I have absolutely nothing to base any sort of speculations on. She's somehow involved with shady people. That's about all we know. And she's somehow involved with Shadiq. Miorin on the TV. She suddenly seems way beyond us. It's nothing to laugh about. She'll grow beyond you too. That's a power of foreshadowing, isn't it? Not the wife, I'm the groom. I originally aspired to become a medical engineer. We already knew that, I think. It's a win-win. Temperature check. Brand new Elan just standing there menacingly in the forest, waiting for passerbys to drag them in and bury them 6 feet under. That's the vibes I'm getting. Fucking Slenderman in the woods. And of course, Elan wants Suletta because she's the holder and because she has Ariel, and he would very much like to have his grubby hands placed on Ariel as well. And he wouldn't mind putting his grubby hands on Suletta either, I have a feeling. You two may end up married in name, but her heart won't be in it. Yeah, starting to stir shit up. You're being used as a shield so Miorin can avoid getting married. And that's probably not far from the truth. That's how it started. Is it the case still, though? That's the question, right? A little push is all it will take. All we want is Ariel. We're not gonna just duel for it. We're just gonna seduce Suletta and get Ariel this way. I'm the one who was asked to take care of them all. Miorin told me herself. Didn't have time to take a public flight. I got home sooner. And yeah, those were gardeners from some company, farm workers to take care of my plants, putting Suletta on the sidelines. Yeah, I'm gonna have more business trips and I can't put this much responsibility on you. I'm being, what's the word here? Considerate. She thinks she's being considerate, and she is being considerate. But she doesn't see that by being considerate, she's also being inconsiderate. Interesting how that works. And yeah, you should go on a date with Elon. He's gonna be your colleague, so try to get along. Does Miori know what a date is, though? That's a question I have to ask. Because she might very well believe that it's just an outing, just, she's a daughter of the Delling company, so it probably wouldn't be out of her depth and out of character for Delling to arrange some play dates or stuff like that with Miorin and whoever. So she might just genuinely not think much of a date. And yeah, we're hiring another tester. So another, right? I I rely I was relied on to be the gardener, but now Miorin found gardeners. I was relied on to be the tester, but now Miorin found another tester. I thought we are a bride and a groom, but now Miorin tells me to go on a date. Everything starts crumbling. I don't need to be here. I've been getting wrong ideas all on my own. And Miorin is just very matter of fact. I'm gonna pick her up at Planqueta. You should come too, I bet you're excited. No, she isn't. She dropped the keychain. That makes me believe Miorin is gonna find it. But one interesting parallel I see here with not maybe not a parallel, but Miorin being all like business oriented and not seeing the feelings that Suletta has, very much reminded me of that episode of Kill la Kill where Mako and Ryuko climbed the ladder and Ryuko and Mako and her family became, started just getting better from slums to the middle class, then they became rich, and as they became richer and richer and more absorbed with their work and more absorbed with all that stuff, they grew further and further and further and further apart. Very much reminds me of that episode. I could not shake off this feeling of seeing this, parallel. Uh, yeah, it's cool, and I hope, just like Mako and her family had a sudden understanding that Ryuko doesn't like that, and there are things more not pricey, not expensive, more precious, more precious than money, like familial bonds. I hope Miorin is also gonna have that moment. I hope she's gonna realize she fucked up. And I have a few. Actually, it might not come to pass. It might not become relevant until later on. So I'd rather note it down. Miorin sees the key chain, knows she fucked up with Suletta. Okay. In case this becomes relevant, not in the next episode, but in like 5 episodes, I gotta note it down. Delling meeting up with Prospera. What's that about? Wouldn't surprise me if Prospera knew about the plans to assassinate Delling, and she didn't want him to be assassinated because she wants to be the one to assassinate him. But we'll see what happens. Bob. Fucking Bob. Why Bob? At least he's happy. Did you notice? When he was at school and he was constantly dueling and under pressure to be the holder, to be the dueling guy and all that stuff, he was constantly, frowning and constantly miserable and constantly angry and constantly, he had this crease between his eyebrows that would never go away. He's smiling. It's the first time we've seen Guel smile. Simple life, eh? From Planqueta. Those two. Were they involved in the attack on the base, on the asteroid base in Prologue? No, I think it was some purple Gundam that was involved. Not those standard issue mobile suits. Never given much priority to the dueling game. Yeah, Shitara always intended to do that. We're going to break up the Benerit Group. On one hand, probably a good idea. Having this sort of a huge entity that essentially creates a monopoly, not a good idea. Very much not a good idea. On the other hand, resorting to assassination and shit to achieve that, probably not a good idea either. Also, I'm having a hard time believing that Shadiq decided to break up Benerit Group just because he suddenly had an anti-capitalist epiphany and he wants to seize the means of production and he wants to dissolve the huge corporations and power to the people. It seems to me like he has some other ulterior motives there. I'm just not sure what those might be. I won't hesitate. The ship is now under the control of the Dawn of Fold. We demand that all of you cooperate immediately. Why do you need them to cooperate, is my question. Interesting. Interesting where it's gonna go. I don't know. I have genuinely no idea where it's gonna go. We'll see, I guess. We shall see where it's gonna go. But the fact that Sled and Miorin will be at the Quokka plant or whatever it was called. What was it called? Something starts with Q. And probably not Quokka. Quetta. Plant Quetta. The fact that Miorin and Suletta will be there, and that Ariel is there, and that Guel is there, and nobody knows where Guel went, besides his father. Something makes me think it's gonna create a perfect storm. It's gonna create a perfect storm. I'm kind of reminded of Gate Jietai not even reverse isekai, not even an isekai necessarily. Gate, you probably do. There's an anime, there's a manga. The anime ended with the king running away from the capital with Pina Colada, his daughter, and he was all this time against Pina having any sort of a rule, any sort of power. But Pina saved him, rescued him, and he suddenly had an epiphany that, oh, maybe we shouldn't fight the Japanese, maybe we should join forces with them. Maybe Pina is actually a worthy successor. Maybe my son is not the best ruler because he tried to poison me, and stuff like that. It kind of reminds me of that. That Delling is quote unquote the enemy of Suletta, the enemy of Ariel. We know he probably isn't, but it's kind of the setup, right? Delling bad, Suletta good. And there's gonna be a moment of Suletta and perhaps even Guel rescuing, saving Delling. Maybe something like that, and Delling's gonna be like, "Oh yeah, your gun technology is cool. Actually, you have my blessing to go ahead. I'm gonna, I know, change my will so that the Benerit Group goes to you, Suletta. Be a good wife to my daughter. That kind of thing. Probably not to that degree, but I do think Guel, Suletta, and Miorin and Ariel are going to fuck up Shadik's plans yet again. Maybe, though. It's not guaranteed. Nothing's guaranteed in this series. So why am I even mentioning that? Right? Okay. That was a cool episode. It gave us a ton of setup. It opened a ton of threads. We have a brand new bunch of characters from Earth, from that ruined school, who seem to be assassins for hire, and they have their own mobile suits, which is interesting, and they have their own means to go into the orbit, which is also not something you'd think to be common, right? You need a launch site, you need a vehicle to go to the orbit. Uh, I don't think you can just take your mobile suits and blast off the roof of a school and go to space. So there's probably a little bit more to them. We got Delling meeting up with Prospera for whatever purpose, we don't know. We got Nika, I think that's her name, the blue haired girl, who's somehow involved with the assassins from Earth and somehow involved with Shadik. We have Shadik, who wants to realize his own plans that don't necessarily align with his father's plans or with anybody else's plans, for that matter. We have Miorin's and Suletta's relationship being jettisoned. That's not the correct word to use here. Being damaged, not past the point of repair, most probably not. But still, you need that a little bit of romantic tension, right? If there are some romantic subplots or even slightly romantic subplots, you have to shake them up. I don't know. That's just the rule of anime. Apparently, you can't have a relationship that doesn't have any drama happening. We have Guel's situation, or should I say Bob's situation, who's also getting involved. We have oh man, we have Ilan who also wants to get involved. So many things are happening right now. So many things are happening. Jesus Christ. In the span of a single episode. And we have like what? 2 episodes until the end of the core? 11, 12. Is there 13? I don't think there is. Maybe, maybe not. I know we're getting the second core, most certainly. Are we gonna get it in the form of a 2 core season? I don't think it's even listed anywhere how many episodes is G Witch gonna be. Gundam Witch from Mercury. Is it 12 episodes? Okay, so it's listed for 12 episodes. So we know that one thing. We know there's gonna be a part 2 when April 2023. Okay, so the spring 2023 season. Now you know what I'm gonna be watching in spring, one of the shows at least. It's also listed for 12 episodes. We don't know of any future course either. Okay. Uh, oh, they started a lot of threads. They started a lot of arcs in this single episode. Huh. This one was jam packed full of stuff. Anything else that needs to be said? I don't think so. I don't think there is anything more to be said, but maybe you guys have something to say on the topic of this episode. And if so, do say so down in the comments below. What did you think of this episode, my reaction, my theories, stuff like that? No spoilers, please. I know episode 11 is already out. I'm going to be watching it soon-ish. So don't spoil me what's going to happen then, what's going to happen there. If you do want to talk spoilers, my Discord is here, also link in the description, so join it. And there is a Gundam channel there where you can talk anything spoilers with spoiler tags, and I'm not gonna read them because why would I spoil myself willingly, right? What else? What else? Like this video if you liked it, dislike it if you disliked it, but tell me why so I can improve. Subscribe to that channel to be notified of future releases of not only Gundam Witch from Mercury, but also Tensei, Shitara and Deshita, Symphogear Axis, also Management of a Novice Alchemist, Arknights, Prelude to Dawn. What else am I watching currently? Madoka Magica Rebellion, I'm gonna be watching soon-ish as well. And I'm gonna be watching new stuff in the upcoming season. I think on the 3rd or 4th, I'm gonna have a live stream where I'm gonna go through the next season and what I'm gonna be watching. So stay tuned for that. Click the bell, maybe, to be notified whenever I go live. Support the channel if you want monetarily. Patreon throne links in the description below. On Patreon for $10 a month you get early access to non-seasonal shows like Symphogear, like Madoka, like other non-seasonals I'm going to be watching in the future. And for just $1 you get a role on the Discord placed in the credits, and I sometimes post some seasonal episodes a couple days or maybe even a week early, and they also go to the $1 tier. On Throne, you can pitch in directly towards my purchase of better gear, better software, stuff like that. And if you don't want to spend any money whatsoever, costs you absolutely nothing. Share my content, spread the word, helps the channel, doesn't cost a single cent. And now, with that out of the way, that's gonna be it from me for today. So as always, you guys do all the good stuff, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Cheers. And here's the list of my wonderful patrons, and you can be one of them if only you so desire.